she on his head.
Hence! Home, you idle creatures. Get you home. Is this a holiday? You ought not walk upon a laboring day without the sign of your profession. Speak, what trade art thou?
Why, sir, a carpenter.
Truly, sir, in respect of a fine workman, I am but, as you would say, a cobbler.
But wherefore art not in thy shop today? Why dost thou lead these men about the streets?
Truly, sir, to wear out their shoes to get myself into more work. But indeed, sir, we make holiday to see Caesar and to rejoice in his triumph.
Wherefore rejoice? What conquest brings thee home, you blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things? Have you not made a universal shout to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome? And do you now cull out a holiday, and do you now strew flowers in his way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood? Be gone, run to your houses, fall upon your knees, pray to the gods to intermit the plagues that needs must light on this ingratitude.
Go, go, good countrymen, and weep your tears. Go you down that way towards the capital, this way will I. Disrobe the images if you do find them decked with ceremonies.
May we do so?
Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. I'll about and drive away the vulgar from the streets. So do you too, where you perceive them thick. These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing will make him fly in ordinary pitch, who else would soar above the view of men and keep us all in servile fearfulness.
Calpurnia! Peace, ho, Caesar speaks. Calpurnia!
Here, my lord.
Stand you directly in Antonio's way when he doth run his scores. Antonio!
Caesar, my lord.
Forget not your speed, Antonio, to touch Calpurnia. For our elders say the Baron, touched in this holy chase, shake off that sterile curse.
I shall remember. When Caesar says do this, it is performed.
Settle, and leave no ceremony out.
Caesar!
Ha! Who calls? Caesar turneth to hear.
Beware the Ides of March!
What voice is that?
It's a soothsayer. Bid you beware the Ides of March.
Bring her to me. Let me see her face. What sayest thou to me now? Speak once again.
Beware the Ides of March!
She's a dreamer. Let us leave her. Pass.
Will you go see the order of the course?
Not I.
I pray you do.
I'm not gamesome. I do lack some of that quick spirit which is in Antony. Do not let me hinder your desires, Cassius. I'll leave you.
Brutus, I do observe you now of late. I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I was wont to have. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over a friend that loves you.
Cassius, be not deceived. If I have veiled my look, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely on myself. Vexed I am, of late, with passions of some difference, conceptions only proper to myself. Who construe any further neglect than that poor Brutus, with herself at war, forgets the shows of love to other men?
Then, Brutus, I have much mistook your passion. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face?
No, Cassius. For the eye sees not itself, but by reflection, by some other things.
'Tis just. And it is very much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors as may turn your hidden worthiness into your eye, that you might see your shadow. I have heard, where many the best respect in Rome, except immortal Caesar, talking of Brutus and groaning underneath this age's yoke, hath wished the noble Brutus had her eyes.
What dangers would you lead me, Cassius, that you have me seeking to myself for that which is not in me.
Therefore, be prepared to hear. And since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, I, your glass, will modestly discover to yourself that which of yourself you yet know not of. Be not jealous on me, gentle Brutus. Were I a common laugher, or did use to stale with ordinary oaths my love to every new protester? If you know that I fall on men and hug them hard and after scandal, or if you know that I do profess myself in banqueting to all the rout, then hold me dangerous.
What means this shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king.
Aye? Do you fear it? Then must I think you would not have it so?
I would not, Cassius. Yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? To what purpose? If it be aught to the general good, put honor in one eye and death in the other, and I will look on both indifferently. For so the gods speed me. I do love the name of honor more than I fear death.
I know the virtue to be in you, Brutus. Well, honor is the subject of my story. I cannot tell what you and other men make of this life, but for my single self, I had as lief not as live to be in awe of such a thing as I myself. I was born free as Caesar. So were you. We have both fed as well, and we can both endure the winter's cold as well as he. For once, on a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, "Darest thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point?" On the word, accoutered as I was, I plunged in and bade him follow me. So indeed he did. But ere we could reach the point proposed, Caesar cried, "Help me, Cassius, or I sink." I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, did from the flames of Troy, upon his shoulders the old Anchises bear, so from the waves of Tiber did I, the tired Caesar. And this man is now become a god. And Cassius is the wretched creature who must bend his body should Caesar carelessly but nod on him. He had a fever when he was in Spain, and when the fit was on him, I did mark how he did shake. Gods, it doth amaze me, a man of such a feeble temper should so get the start on the majestic world and bear the palm alone.
Another general shout. I believe these are for some more honors heaped upon Caesar.
Why, man, he doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus. And we, petty men, we walk underneath his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Men, at some times, are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar. What should be in that Caesar? Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Write them together. Yours is as fair a name. Sound them, it doth become the mouth as well. Upon what meat doth this our Caesar feed, that he is grown so great? Age, thou art shamed. Rome, thou hast lost the breed of noble bloods. When went there by an age, since the great flood, when it was famed with but more than one man? When could they say, till now, that talked of Rome, that her wide walls encompassed but one man?
That you do love me, I am nothing jealous. What you would work me to, I have some aim. How I have thought of this, and of these times I shall recount hereafter. For the present, I would not, so with love, I entreat you be any further moved. What you have said, I will consider. What you have to say, I will with patience hear. And find a time both meet to hear and answer such high things. But until that time, my noble friend, chew upon this. Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute herself a child of Rome under these hard times as these conditions are like to lay upon us.
As they pass by, pluck Casca by the sleeve. Casca will tell us what the matter is.
Antonio,
Caesar!
let me have men about me that are fat. Sleek-headed men in such a sleep of night. Young Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous.
Fear him not, Caesar. He's not dangerous. He's a noble Roman and well-given.
Would he were fatter? But I fear him not. Such men as he are never at heart's ease while they behold someone greater than themselves. And therefore they are very dangerous. I'd rather tell thee what is to be feared than what I fear. For always I am Caesar. Come on my right hand, for this ear is death. And tell me what you truly think is to him.
You pulled me by the cloak. Would you speak with me?
Hi, Casca. Tell us what the chance that Caesar looked so sad.
Well, there was a crown offered. And being offered, he put it by with the back of his hand, thus. And then the people fell a shouting.
What was the second noise for?
Why, for that too.
They shouted thrice. What was the last cry for?
Why, for that too.
Was the crown offered him thrice?
Aye, marry wast. And he put it by thrice, each time more gentler than other. And at every putting by, mine honest neighbor shouted.
Who offered him the crown?
Why, Antony.
Tell us the manner of it, gentle Casca.
Well, I could as well be hanged as tell the manner of it. It was mere foolery, I did not mark it. I saw Mark Antony offer him a crown, and then he offered it again, and then he offered it a third time, and still as he refused it, the rabbleman hooted and uttered such a deal of stinking breath because Caesar refused the crown, well, that it almost choked Caesar, for he swooned and fell down at it. And for mine own part, I durst not laugh, for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad air.
But soft, I pray. Did Caesar swoon?
He fell down in the marketplace, foamed at the mouth, and was speechless.
'Tis very like he hath the falling sickness.
No, no, Caesar hath it not. But you, and I, and honest Casca, we have the falling sickness.
I know not what you mean by that, but I'm sure that Caesar fell. If the Tagrite people didn't clap him and hiss him, each according as he pleased and displeased them, as they used to do the players in the theater, I am no true man.
What said he when he came unto himself?
Mary, before he fell, he plucked me open his doublet and offered them his throat to cut. Now, and I had been a man of any occupation, if I'd not taken him at a word, I might have gone to hell among the roads. And so he fell. And when he came to himself again, he said, if he had done or said anything amiss, he desired their worships to think it was his infirmity. Now, 3 or 4 wenches women, nearby where I stood, quite alas, good soul, and forgave him with all their heart, but there's no heed to be taken of them. If Caesar had stabbed their mothers, they would have done no less.
Did Cicero say anything?
Aye, he spoke Greek.
To what effect?
Nay, and I tell you that, I'll never look you in the face again. But those that understood him smiled at one another and shook their heads. But for mine own part, it was Greek to me. I could tell you more news, too. Marilus and Flavius, for pulling off Caesar's images, are put to silence. Farewell.
Will you dine with me? Tomorrow?
Aye, if I be alive, and your mind hold, and your dinner be worth the eating.
I will expect you.
Do so. Farewell, both.
Tomorrow, if it please you speak with me, I'll come home to you. Or, if you'd rather, come home to me and I'll wait for you.
I will do so. Till then, think on the world. Well, Brutus, thou art noble. Yet, I see thy honorable metal may be wrought from that it is disposed. Therefore is it meet that noble minds keep ever with their like. But who so firm that cannot be seduced? Caesar doth bear me hard, that he loves Brutus. Were I Brutus now and he Cassius, he should not humor me. I will this night, in several hands, enter a window throw as if it came from several citizens' writings, all tending to the great opinion that Rome holds of her name, wherein, obscurely, Caesar's ambition shall be glanced at. And after this, let Caesar seek him sure, for we will shake him, or worse days endure.
Good evening, Casca. God, you Caesar, why are you breathless, and why stare you so?
Are you not moved? When all the sway of earth doth shake like a thing unfirm. Oh, Cicero, I have seen tempests when the scolding winds had rived the knotty oaks, and I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam, but never till tonight, never till now did I come through a tempest dropping fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world too saucy with the gods and senses them to send destruction.
Why, saw you anything more wonderful?
A common slave, you know him well by sight, raised his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined, but his hand, not sensible of the fire, remained unscorched. And against the Capitol, I met a lion that glazed upon me and went surly by without annoying me. And they were drawn upon a heap, 100 ghastly women, transformed with their fear, who swear they saw men all in fire walk up and down the streets. And yesterday, the bird of night did sit, even at noonday in the marketplace, howling and shrieking. Now, when such prodigies do so conjointly meet, let men not say, these are their reasons, they are natural.
Indeed, these are strange disposed times, where men may construe purposes from their own, clean from the purposes of the things themselves. Come Caesar to the Capitol tomorrow?
He doth, before he bid Antonio tell you he would be there.
Good then. This disturbed sky is not to walk in.
Farewell, Cicero.
Who's there?
A Roman.
Casca, by your voice.
Your ear is good. Cassius, what night is this?
Very pleasing night to honest men.
Whoever knew the heavens men are so?
Those that have known the earth to be so full of faults. You are dull, Casca. And those sparks of life that should be in a Roman you do want. Or else you use not. You look pale, and gaze to see the strange impatience of the heavens. But if you would consider the true cause, why? All these things change from their ordinance to monstrous quality. Why? You shall find that heaven hath infused them with these spirits, to make them instruments of fear and warning unto some monstrous state. Now, could I, Casca, name to thee a man, most like this dreadful night, a man, no mightier than thyself or me in personal action, yet prodigious grown, and fearful as these strange eruptions are.
'Tis Caesar that you speak of, is it not, Cassius?
Let it be who it is. For Romans now have thews and limbs like to their ancestors. But woe the while, our fathers' minds are dead, and we are governed with our mother's spirits. Our yoke and sufferance show us womanish.
Indeed, they say the senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as king.
No more I will wear this dagger then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. Therein, ye gods, you make the weak most strong. Therein, ye gods, you tyrants do defeat. This life, being weary of these worldly bars, never lacks power to dismiss itself. If I know this, then all the world besides. That part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off. At pleasure.
Well, so can I. So too does every bondman in his own hand bear the power to cancel his captivity.
Why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor man. I know he would not be a wolf, but that he sees the Romans are but sheep. Those that with haste will begin a mighty fire, begin it with weak straw. What trash is Rome? What rubbish and what awful when it serves for the base matter to illuminate so vile a thing as Caesar. But oh grief, where hast thou led me? I perhaps speak this before a willing bondman. Then I know my answer must be made, but I am armed, and dangers are to me indifferent.
You speak to Casca, and to such a man as is no fleering telltale. Full. My hand. Be factious for redress of all these griefs, and I will put this foot of mine as far as who goes farthest.
There's the bargain made. Now, know you, Casca, I have moved already some certain number of the noblest-minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honorable, dangerous consequence. Most bloody, fiery, and most terrible.
But stand close a minute, for here comes one in haste.
'Tis Cinna. I do know her by her gait. She is friend. Where haste you so, Cinna?
To find out you. Who's that, Metella Simber?
No, it is Casca, one incorporate to our times. Am I not staying for Cinna?
Yes, you are. Oh, Cassius, if you could but win the noble Brutus to our party.
Be you content, Cinna. Look you, take this paper and lay it in the praetor's chair, where Brutus may but find you. Throw that in her window, and set the other up with wax upon old Brutus' statue. All this done, repair to Pompey's porch, where you shall find us. Come, Casca. You and I will yet ere day meet Brutus at her house. 3 parts of her is ours already, and the woman entire upon the next encounter yields her ours.
Well, she sits high upon the people's hearts, and that which would appear offense in us, her countenance, like richest alchemy, will transform to virtue and to worthiness.
Her and her worth, and our great need of her you have right well conceded. Come, let us go, for it is after midnight, and ere day we will wake her and be sure of her.
Must be by his death. For my part, I have no personal cause to spurn at him, but the general. He would be crowned. Now, that might change his nature, there's the question. It's the bright light of day that doth bring forth the adder, and that craves wary walking. Crown him that, I grant we put a sting in him that he may do great danger with. The abuse of greatness is when it disjoins remorse from power, but to speak truth of Caesar, I've never known when his affection swayed more than his reason. It is a common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder, which the climber upward turns his face, and once he attains the utmost round, he turns his back, looks to the clouds, spurns the base degrees by which he did ascend, and so Caesar may. Then, lest he may, prevent. The argument will bear no color for the thing that he is. Therefore, fashion it thus. What he is, augmented, would run to these and these extremities, and therefore think him as a serpent's egg, which hatched would as its kind grow mischievous, and kill him in the shell.
Searching the window for a flint, I found this paper thus sealed up, and I am sure it did not lie there when I went to bed.
Get you to bed, boy. It is not yet day. Is not tomorrow the Ides of March? Look in a calendar. Bring me word.
I will, ma'am.
Brutus, thou sleepest. Awake and see thyself shall roam, etc. Speak, strike, or dress. Brutus, thou sleepest. Awake. Shall Rome stand under one man's awe? What? Rome. Speak, strike, redress. Am I entreated to speak and strike? Rome, I give thee promise. If the redress shall follow, thou receivest thy full petition at the hand of Brutus.
Ma'am?
Huh?
March has wasted 15 days.
'Tis good. Go to the gate, someone knocks. Since Cassius first did wet me against Caesar, I have not slept. Between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion, all the interim is like some phantasma or hideous dream. The genius and the mortal instruments are then in council, and the state of man, like to a little kingdom, suffers the nature of an insurrection.
Ma'am? Tis your brother Cassius at the door who doth desire to see you.
Is he alone?
No, ma'am, there are more with him.
Do you know them?
No, ma'am. Their hats were plucked about their ears, and half their faces were buried in their cloaks.
Let them enter. They are the faction. Conspiracy. Shamest thou to show thy dangerous brows by night when evils are most free? Where then wilt thou find a cavern dark enough by day to hide thy monstrous visage? Oh, seek none, conspiracy. Hide it in smiles and affability, but if thou pat thy native semblance on, not Erebus itself were dim enough to hide thee from prevention.
Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you?
I've been awake all night, up this hour. But what watchful cares interpose themselves betwixt your eyes and night?
Shall I entreat a word?
Give me your hands, all round, one by one.
And let us swear our resolution.
No, not an oath. If not the faces of men, the suffering of souls, the time's abuse. If these motives be weak, break off betimes, and every man hence to his idle bed, so let high-sided tyranny reign on. Swear, priests, and cowards, and old men codless, old feeble carrions, and such suffering souls as welcome wrongs, unto bad causes swear such creatures as men doubt. Do not stain the even virtue of our enterprise, or the insuppressive metal of our spirits. To think that our cause or our performance did need an oath, when every drop of blood that every Roman bears, and nobly bears, is guilty of several bastardry if it do break the smallest article of any promise which is passed from it.
But what of Cicero? Shall we sound him? I think he will stand very strong with us.
Let us not leave him out.
No, by no means.
Oh, let us have him. His silver hairs will purchase us a good opinion and buy men's voices to commend our deeds. Shall we said his judgment ruled our hands?
Name him not, let us not break with him. He will never follow what other men begin.
Well, then leave him out.
Indeed, he is not fit.
Shall no man else be touched but only Caesar?
Decius well urged. I think it is not meet that Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive Caesar. We shall find of him a shrewd contriver, and you know his means. Let Antony and Caesar fall together.
Our course will seem too bloody, Caius. To cut off the head and then hack the limbs like wrath and death and envy afterward, for Antony is but a limb of Caesar. Let us be purgers, Caius, not butchers. We all stand against the spirit of Caesar, and in the spirit of men there is no blood. So we kill him boldly, not wrathfully. So appearing to the common eyes, we shall be sacrificers and not murderers. And as for Antony, think not on him. He can do no more than Caesar's arm once Caesar's head is off.
Yet I fear him for the ingrated love that he bears to Caesar, and
Cassius, be content. If he loves Caesar, all he can do is to himself take thought and die for Caesar.
There is no fear in him. Let him not die, for he will live and laugh at this hereafter.
Peace. Count the clock.
The clock hath stricken 3.
'Tis time to part.
But it is doubtful yet whether Caesar will come forth today or no. For he is superstitious grown of late.
Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I cannot sway him, for he loves to hear that unicorns might be betrayed with trees, bears with glasses, elephants with holes, lions with toils, and men with flatterers. But when I tell him he hates flatterers, he says he does, being then most flattered. Let me work. I can give his humor the true bent, and I will bring him to the capital.
Nay, we will all be there to fetch him.
By 8. Is that the uttermost?
Be that the uttermost, and fail not then.
Caius Ligarius doth bear Caesar hard, who rated him for speaking well on Pompey. I wonder none of you have thought of him.
Send him hither, I'll fashion him.
The morning comes upon us. We'll leave you, Brutus. And friends, disperse yourselves, but all remember what you have said here today, and show yourselves true Romans.
Good Romans. We'll look fresh and merrily. Let not our faces put on our purposes, but bear it as our Roman actors do, with untired spirits and formal constancy. So good morrow, everyone.
Brutus, my lady.
Portia, what mean you? Wherefore do you rise now? You know it is not for your health to commit your weak condition to the raw cold morning.
Not for yours neither. You have ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed. And yesternight at supper, you suddenly arose, musing and sighing with your arms across. And when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. I urged you further, then you scratched your head and too impatiently stamped with your foot. Yet I insisted, yet you answered not, but with an angry waiter of your hand gave sign for me to leave you. So I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience which seemed too much enkindled, and withal hoping it was but an effect of humor which sometime hath his hour with every man. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep, and could it work so much upon your shape as it hath much prevailed in your condition, I should not know you, Brutus. Dear my lady, make me acquainted with your cause of grief.
I am not well in health, that is all.
Brutus is wise, and were she not in health, she would embrace the means to come by it.
So I do. Portia, go to bed.
Is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank morning? What? Is Brutus sick? And will she steal out of her wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night and tempt the roomy and unpurged air to add unto her sickness? No, my Brutus, you have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. And upon my knees I charm you by my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love, and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me yourself, your half, why you are heavy.
Kneel not, gentle Portia.
I should not need if you were gentle, Brutus. Within the bond of marriage, is it accepted that I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I, but as it were in sort or limitation, to keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, talk to you sometimes? Dwell I but in the suburbs of your good pleasure? If this be no more, then Portia is Brutus's harlot and not her spouse.
You are my true and honorable wife, as dear to me as the ruddy drops that visit my sad heart.
If this were true, then I should know this secret.
than my sex to be so fathered and espoused? Tell me your counsels. I will not disclose them. I have made strong proof of my constancy. Can I bear that with patience, and not my spouse's secrets?
Oh, you gods. Make me worthy of this noble wife. Hark, Portia, someone knocks. Go in. By and by, thy bosom shall enfold all the secrets of my heart. All my engagements I shall construe to thee. The character of my sad brows, but leave me. In haste. Lucius, who knocks?
Here is a sick man that would speak with you.
Gaius Ligarius. Stand aside, boy.
Vouchsafe good morrow from a feeble tongue.
Oh, what a time you have chose out to wear a kerchief. Would you were not sick.
I am not sick, if Brutus have in her hand any exploit worthy the name of honor.
Such an exploit I have. Had you a healthy ear to hear it?
Then by all the gods the Romans bow before, I hereby discard my sickness. Soul of Rome, brave daughter, derived of honorable loins, thou like an exorcist hast conjured forth my mortified spirit. Now, command me to run, and I will strive with things impossible, yea, get the better of them. What's to do?
Piece of work that will make sick men whole.
Are not some whole that we must make sick?
I shall tell you as we are going to whom it must be done.
Set on your foot then. With heart new fired, I go to do, I know not what, but it sufficeth me that Brutus lead me on.
Follow me then.
Nor heaven nor earth have been at peace tonight. Thrice have Calpurnia in her sleep cried out, uphold they murdered Caesar. Who's within?
What mean you, Caesar? Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today.
Caesar shall go. The things that threaten Caesar never look but on my back. When they see the face of Caesar, they are banished.
Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet these do frighten me. There is one within besides what we have heard and seen, reports most horrid sight seen by the watch. Fierce fiery warriors fight upon the clouds, drizzling blood upon the Capitol. Ghosts do squeal and stream about the streets. Oh, Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them.
What can be avoided whose end is purposed by the mighty gods? Yet Caesar shall go forward. For these predictions are as to the world in general as to Caesar.
When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the deaths of princes.
Cowards die many times before their deaths, but the valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders I've seen, it seems most strange that people should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. What say the arguers?
They would not have you go forth. Plucking the entrails of an offering forth, they could not find a heart within the beasts.
The gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be a beast without a heart should he stay at home for fear. No, Caesar shall not. Danger knows full well that Caesar is more dangerous than he. We are two lions littered in one day, and I, the elder and more terrible, Caesar, shall go far.
Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Oh, do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate House, and he shall say you are not well. Oh, let me upon my knee prevail in this.
Mark Antony shall say I am not well. And for thy humor, I will stay home today. And look where Decius has come to tell them so.
Caesar! All hail. Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I've come to fetch you to the Senate House.
And you've come at a very happy time to bear my greetings to the senators and to tell them I will not come today.
Say he is sick.
What? Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I, in conquest, stretched my arm so far as to be afeard to tell the graybeards the truth? Decius, go tell them Caesar will not come.
Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is in my will. I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But for your private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know. Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt tonight that she did see my statue, which like a fountain with 100 spouts did run pure blood. And many a lusty Romans did come smiling and did bathe their hands in it. And she does apply these as warnings and portents and evils imminent, and on a bended knee have begged for me to stay at home today.
This dream is all misinterpreted. It was a vision fair and fortunate. Your statue, spouting blood in many pipes, in which so many smiling Romans bathe, signifies that from you, great Rome shall suck reviving blood. Great men shall press for tinctures, stains, relics, and cognizance. This by Calpurnia's dream is signified.
And this you have well expounded it.
I have. And when you've heard what I can say, I know it now. The Senate has concluded to give this day a crown to mighty Caesar. If you shall send them word you will not come, their minds may change. Besides, it were a mock apt to be rendered for someone to say, break up the Senate till another time when Caesar's wife shall meet with better dreams. If Caesar hides himself, will they not whisper low, Caesar is afraid?
How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia? I'm ashamed I did submit to them. Give me my tie, for I will go. And look where Publius has come to fetch me. Welcome, Publius.
Good morrow, Caesar.
What? Brutus has stirred so early too? What's the o'clock?
Caesar just struck an 8.
Well, I thank you for your pains and courtesy. See, Antonio, who revels long of night, is not for standing up. Good morrow, Antonio.
So to most noble Caesar.
Bid them prepare within. I am to blame to be thus waited for. Remember that you came to me today. Be near me, that I may call on you.
Caesar, I will. And so near will I be that your best friends shall wish I had been further.
Come, and taste some wine with me, and we, like friends, will straightway go together.
Caesar, that every like is not the same. The heart of Brutus yearns to think upon.
Oh, Caesar.
Beware of Brutus. Take heed of Cassius. There is but one mind in these men, and it is spent against Caesar.
Security gives way to conspiracy. The mighty gods defend thee, thy lover, Artemidorus. If thou reads this, O Caesar, thou mayest live. But if not, the fates with traitors do contrive.
I pray thee, boy, run to the Senate house. Stay not to answer me, but get thee gone. Why dost thou stay?
To know my errand, madam.
I would have had thee there and here again ere I could tell thee what thou shouldst do there. Oh, Constancy, be strong upon my side. Set a huge mountain between my heart and my tongue. Art thou here yet?
Run to the capital and nothing else, and so return to you and nothing else?
Yes, boy, bring me word. If thy lady look well, what Caesar doth, what suitors press to him. Hark, boy, what noise is that?
I hear none, madam.
Well, I hear a bustling rumor like a fray, and the wind brings it from the capital.
Sooth, madam, I hear nothing.
Come hither, madam. Which way hast thou been?
At mine own house, good lady.
Is Caesar yet gone to the capital?
Madam, not yet. I go to take my stand to see him pass on to the capital.
Thou hast some suit for Caesar, hast thou not?
That I have, lady. If it will please Caesar, I shall beseech him to befriend himself.
Why? Knowst thou any harm intended towards him?
None that I know will be. Much that I fear may chance.
I must go in. I me, how weak a thing the heart of woman is. Oh, Brutus, the heavens speed thee in thine enterprise. Run, Lucius. Commend me to my lady. Say I am Mary. Come again to me and bring me word what she does say to thee.
The Ides of March have come.
Aye, Caesar, but not gone. Hail, Caesar, read the schedule.
Trebonius doth desire you to read at your best pleasure this his humble suit.
Oh, Caesar, read mine first, for mine's a suit that touches Caesar nearer. Read it, great Caesar.
What touches us ourselves shall be last served.
Delay not, Caesar. Read it instantly.
Is the fellow mad?
Sirrah, give place. What? Where are your petitions in the street? Come to the capital.
I do hope your enterprise may thrive today, Cassius.
What enterprise?
Very well.
He hath wished today our enterprise might thrive. I fear our purpose is discovered.
He moves to Caesar. Mark him.
Casca, his son, weak your prevention. Brutus, what shall be done? If this be known, Cassius or Caesar never shall turn back, for it shall slew us.
Cassius, be content. See, he smiles, and Caesar doth not change.
Trebonius knows his time. For look you, Brutus, he draws Mark Antony out of the way.
Where is our sister Cinna? Let her and presently prefer her suit to Caesar.
She is addressed. Step forward and second her.
You are the first that leers your hand.
What is now amiss that Caesar and his Senate must redress?
Most high, most mighty, and most puissant Caesar.
I must prevent thee, Cinna. Thy brother by decree is banished. If thou do bend and pray and fawn for him, I will spur thee like a cur out of the way. No, Caesar doth not wrong. Nor without cause will he be satisfied.
Is there no voice more worthy than my own to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ear for the repealing of my banished brother?
I kiss thy hand, Caesar, but not in flattery, begging thee that Publius Cinna should have immediate freedom of repeal.
What, Brutus?
Pardon, Caesar! Caesar, pardon! As low to thy foot doth Cassius fall, to beg enfranchisement for Publius Cinna.
I could well be moved, if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me. For I am constant as the northern star. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. They are all fire, and every one doth shine. But there is but one in all doth hold his place. So in a world is furnished well with men, and men are flesh and blood and apprehensive. Yet in the number I do not know but one that unassailable holds on to his rank, unshaken of motion, and that I am he. Let me a little show it even in this, that I was constant. Sinners should be banished, and constant do I remain to keep him so.
Oh, Caesar.
Doth thou lift up Olympus?
Great Caesar!
Doth not Brutus bootless kneel? Speak heads for me! Come here. Come here.
and fall, Caesar.
Liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead. Run, hands proclaim, cry it about the streets.
Some to the common pulpit and cry out, liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement.
People and senators, be not afraid, flee not, stand still. Ambition's debt is paid.
Go up into the pulpit, Brutus.
And Cassius, too.
Where's Publius?
Here, quite confounded with this mutiny.
Stand fast a minute, lest some friend of Caesar's...
Speak not of standing. Publius, good cheer. We mean no harm to your person. Or to any Roman else. So tell them, Publius.
And leave us, Publius. Lest the people rushing on us should do your age some mischief.
Do so. And let no man abide this deed but we, the doers.
Where is Antony?
Fled to his house amazed. Men, wives, children stare, cry out and run as if it were doomsday.
Fates, we would know your pleasures. That we must die, we know, but it is the time and drawing out of days that men stand upon.
Why? He that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death.
Grant that, and then is death a benefit? Are we Caesar's friends, who've so abridged his time of fearing death? Stoop. Romans, stoop. Let us bathe our hands in his blood, up to the elbow, and when we walk forth to the marketplace, waving our red weapons over our heads, we'll all cry, peace, freedom, and liberty.
Stoop then and wash. How many ages hence shall this our lofty scene be acted over, in states unborn, and accents yet unknown?
What shall we forth?
Aye, every man away. Brutus shall lead, and we will grace her heels with the boldest and best hearts of Rome.
Peace, who comes here? Some friend of Antony's.
Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down, and being prostrate thus he bade me say, Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say that I love Brutus and I honor her. Say that I feared Caesar, honored him, and loved him. If Brutus will vouchsafe that Antony may safely come to her and be resolved how Caesar hath deserved to lie in death, Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living. So says Antony.
Tell him. So please him come unto this place, he shall be satisfied, and by my honor depart untouched. We shall have him well to friend.
I wish that we may. But yet I have a mind that fears him much, and my misgiving still falls shrewdly to the purpose.
Here comes Antony. Welcome, Mark Antony.
O mighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low? For all thy conquests, glories, triumphs, spoil, shrunk to this little measure. Fare thee well.
I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? If I myself, there is no hour so fit, nor place will please me so, nor means of death than here by Caesar and by you cut off. The choice and master spirits of this age.
Though now we do appear bloody and cruel, as by our hands in this present action you see. You see but our hands, and this bleeding business they have done. Our hearts you see not, they are pitiful. To you our swords have leaden points, Mark Antony.
Your voice shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of you dignities.
Only wait until we've appeased the multitude, beside themselves with fear, the reasons why I that loved Caesar, even as I struck him, have thus proceeded.
Doubt not of your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand, gentlemen, all. Alas, what shall I say? My credit now stands on such slippery ground that one of two bad ways must thou conceit me, either a coward or a flatterer.
That I did love thee, Caesar, oh, 'tis true, pardon me, Julius.
Here wast thou baked, brave heart, here didst thou fall, and here thy hunters stand, signed in thy spoil, and crimsoned in thy leaf.
Mark Antony.
Pardon, Caius Cassius. The enemies of Caesar may say this, then in a friend it is cold modesty.
I blame you not for praising Caesar so. But what compact mean you to have with us?
Friends, I am with you all, and love you all, upon the hope that you will give me reasons why and wherein Caesar was dangerous.
Else this were a savage spectacle. Our reasons are so full of good proof that were you, Antony, son of Caesar, you would be satisfied.
It is all I seek. And moreover, suitor, that I may convey his body unto the marketplace, and in the pulpit, as becomes a friend, speak in the order of his funeral.
Mark Antony, you shall.
Brutus, a word with you. You know not what you do. Do not consent that Mark Antony should speak in his funeral. Know you how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter?
By your pardon, I will into the pulpit first and give the reasons for our Caesar's death. What Mark Antony shall say, I shall say he does by our leave and by permission, and that we are satisfied that Caesar shall have all true rights and lawful ceremonies. It shall benefit us more than do us harm.
I know not what may befall. I like it not.
Mark Antony, you will not in your funeral speeches blame us, but speak all good you can devise of Caesar. Say you do it by our leave and by permission, or else you shall have no hand at all in his funerals. And you shall speak from the same pulpit whereto I am going, after my speeches are ended.
Be it so. I do desire no more.
Prepare the body, then, and follow us.
Peace! Freedom!
Liberty! Tyranny is dead!
Peace! Freedom!
Liberty! Tyranny is dead!
Peace! Freedom!
Liberty! Tyranny is dead!
Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I must be meek and gentle with these butchers! Thou art the noblest ruin of a man that ever lived in the tide of times! Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood! Upon thy wounds now do I prophesy a curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Blood and destruction shall be so in use that this foul deed shall smell above the earth with carrion men groaning for burial. And Caesar's spirit, ranging for revenge, shall in these confines of the monarch's voice cry havoc! And let slip the dogs of war. You serve Octavius, Caesar, do you not?
I do, Mark Antony.
Caesar did right for him to come to Rome.
He did receive his letters and is coming, and bid me to say to you by word of mouth. Caesar?
My heart is big. Get to the upward and weep. Post back with speed and tell him what has chanced. Here is a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome. No Rome of safety for Octavius yet. I hence and tell him so. Get! Pause a while. Thou shalt not back till I have borne this course into the marketplace. There shall I try in my oration how the people make the cruel issue of these bloody men, according to the which thou shalt discourse to young Octavius of the state of things. Lend me your hand.
Cassius, part the numbers and go into the other street. Those that would hear me speak, let them stay here. countrymen and lovers, hear me for my cause and be silent that you may hear. Believe me for mine honor, and have respect to mine honor that you may believe. Censure me in your wisdom, and awake your senses that you may the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say, Brutus's love to Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demand to know why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my reply. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Would you rather that Caesar were living and die all slaves, or that Caesar were dead to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice in it. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. There. Tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Who here is so base that would be a bondman? If any speak, for him have I offended. Who here is so rude that would not be a Roman? If any speak, for him have I offended. Who here is so vile that will not love his country? If any speak, for him have I offended. I pause for a reply. Then none have I offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol. His glory is not extenuated, for which he was worthy, nor his offenses enforced, for which he suffered death. Here comes the body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand at all in Caesar's death, shall bear the benefit of his dying, a place in the Commonwealth, as which of you shall not? With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have that same dagger for myself when it shall please my country to need my death.
Good countrymen.
Allow me to depart, and for my sake, stay here with Antony. Do grace to Caesar's course, and grace Antony's speeches, tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony, by our permission, has leave to make.
I will hear Mark Antony.
Let him go up into the public jail.
For Brutus' sake, I am beholden to you. You gentle Romans.
Caesar was a tyrant.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. Here, the noble Brutus has said that Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it is a grievous fault, and grievously has Caesar answered it. Here, by leave of Brutus and these men, for Brutus is an honorable woman, so are they all honorable men, come I to speak at Caesar's funeral. He was, my friend, faithful and just to me, but Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable woman. When the poor did cry, Caesar did weep. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff, yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable woman. You all did see that on the Lupercal, how thrice I offered him the kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure she is an honorable woman. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you now to mourn for him? Oh, judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
He thinks there's much wisdom in his sayings. If you consider rightly of the matter, Caesar has had great wrong.
As he masters, for I fear worse will come in his place.
Mark ye his words. Caesar refused the crown, therefore 'tis certain he was not ambitious.
There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony.
But yesterday, the word of Caesar would have stood against the world. Now lies he here, and none so poor to do him reverence. Oh, masters! Were there some way that I could stir your hearts to rage and mutiny? I should do Brutus wrong and Cassius wrong, whom, as you know, are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. I would rather wrong the dead and wrong myself and you than I will wrong such honorable men. But here is a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. 'Tis his will. Let but the commons hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read. Have patience, gentle friends. I must not read it. It is not meet for you to know how Caesar loved you. You are not wood, you are not stones, but men. And being men, to hear the will of Caesar, it will inflame you. It will make you mad. It is good you know not you are his heirs, for if you should, oh, what would come of it? Will you be patient? Will you stay a while? I have o'ershot myself to tell you of it. I do fear I wrong the honorable men whose daggers have stabbed Caesar. I do fear it.
Honorable men, they were traitors!
You will compel me then to read the will. Then make yourself a ring about the course of Caesar and let me show you him that made the will.
Rupert and Antony! Rupert, noble Antony!
They press not so upon me. Stand far off. If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all do know this mantle. I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. Look, in this place ran Cassius' dagger through. See what a rent the envious Casca made. Through this, the well-beloved Brutus stabbed. Brutus, as you know, Caesar's angel. Judge you, oh gods, how dearly Caesar loved her. This was the unkindest cut of all. When the noble Caesar did see her stab, ingratitude, strong to the traitor's arms, quite vanquished him, then burst his mighty heart. Oh, there was a fall that day, my countrymen, then I, then you, and all of us fell down, whilst bloody treason flourished over us.
Bloody sight, oh noble Caesar. Traitors, villains. He'll be revenged. He shall be revenged.
Let's stay, my countrymen.
Here, Antony, we'll follow him. We'll die with him.
Good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you on to such a sudden flood of mutiny. The men who did this deed are honorable. What private griefs they had, alas, I know not that made them do it. They are wise and honorable and will no doubt with reasons answer you. I come not, dear friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator as Brutus is, but as you know me all, a plain, blunt man that loved my friend, and that they knew full well that gave me public leave to speak of him. For I have neither words nor worth, action nor utterance, nor the power of speech to move men's blood. I only speak right on. I tell you that which you yourselves do know. Show you sweet Caesar's wounds, poor dumb mouths, and bid them speak for me. But were I Brutus, and Brutus Antony, there were an Antony who'd ruffle up your spirit and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar that should move the stones of Rome to rise and mutiny. Yet hear me, countrymen, yet hear me speak. Good friends, you go to do you know not what. Wherein hath Caesar thus deserved your loves? Alas, you know not. I must tell you then, you have forgot the will I told you of. Here is the will, set with the seal of Caesar, and to every Roman citizen he gives, to every several man, $20,000.
He will be revenged.
Hear me with patience. Moreover, he hath left you all his walks, his private arbors, his new planted orchards this side Tiber. He hath left them you and to your heirs forever, common pleasures to walk abroad and recreate yourselves. Here was a Caesar, when comes such another? Now let it work. Mischief, thou art abroad. Take what course thou wilt. How now, good fellow?
Sir Octavius has already come to Rome.
Where is he?
He and Lepidus are at Caesar's house.
And thither shall I go to visit him. He comes upon a wish. Fortune is merry, and in this mood shall give us anything.
I heard him say Brutus and Cassius are rid like madmen through the gates of Rome.
Belike they had some news of the people, how I have moved them. Come, bring me to Octavius.
I dreamt last night that I did feast with Caesar, and things did unluckily charge my fantasy. I have no will to wander forth the doors, yet something leads me forth.
What is your name?
What is my name?
Whither are you going?
Whither am I going?
Where do you dwell?
Where do I dwell?
Are you a married man or a bachelor?
Am I a married man or a bachelor?
Answer every man directly.
Aye, and wisely.
Aye, and briefly.
Aye, and truly, you were best.
Well, to answer every question, directly and briefly, wisely and truly, wisely I say I'm a bachelor.
Oh, well, that's as much as to say that those that marry are fools. You'll bear me a bank for that. Proceed directly.
Directly I proceed to Caesar's funeral.
As a friend or an enemy?
As a friend.
Well, that matter's answered directly.
For your dwelling, briefly.
Briefly, I dwell at the capital.
And your name, sir, truly.
Oh, and truly, my name is Cinna.
Cinna.
No, 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 no.
He killed
These many then shall die, their names are pricked.
Your brother, too, must die. Consent to you, Lepidus.
I do consent.
Prick him down, Antony.
Upon condition Publius shall not live, who is your sister's son, Mark Antony.
He shall not live. Look for the spot. Damn him. But go you, Lepidus, to Caesar's house. Fetch the will hither, and we will determine how to cut off some charge in legacies.
What, shall I find you here?
Or here, or at the Capitol.
This is a slight, unmeritable woman, meet to be sent on errands. Is it fit, the threefold world divided, she should stand as one of three to share it?
So you thought her, and took her voice, who should be pricked to die in our black sentence and prescription.
Octavius, I have seen more days. And though we lay these honors on this woman to ease ourselves of divers slanderous load, she shall but bear them as the ass bears gold, to groan and sweat under the business, led or driven as we point the way. And when we have taken our treasure where we will, then take we down her load and turn her off.
You may do your will, but she's a tried and valiant soldier.
So is my horse, Octavius. And for that I do give in store of provender. He is a beast that I teach to fight, to wind, to stop, to run directly on, his corporal motion governed by my spirit. Lepidus is such, do not speak of her but as property. So, Octavius, listen great things. Brutus and Cassius are levying powers, we must make straight head. Therefore let us, alliance be combined, and let us go straight forward into council.
Let us do so. For now we are at the stake, and bait about with many enemies. Some that smile have in their hearts, I fear, millions of mischiefs.
It comes upon me. Art thou anything? Art thou some god, some angel or some devil that makest my blood cold and my hair to stare? Speak to me, what thou art.
Thy evil spirit, Brutus.
Why comest thou?
To
tell thee, thou shalt see me at Philippi.
Well, then I shall see thee again.
Ah, at Philippi.
Why, I shall see thee at Philippi then.
Stand up. Give the word ho and stand.
Welcome, Messala. Is Cassius near?
He is at hand. And Decius has come to do you salutation from her master.
She greets me well. Thy master, Tintinius, hath given me some worthy cause to wish things done, undone. But if he be at hand, I shall be satisfied.
I do not doubt but that my noble master will appear, such as he is, full of regard and honor.
Thou hast described a hot friend cooling. Ever note, Messala, when love begins to sicken and decay, it useth an enforced ceremony. There are no tricks in plain and simple faith, but hollow men, like horses hot at hand, make gallant cries and show of their mettle. But when they must endure the bloody spur, they fall in their crests and, like deceitful jades, sink in the trial. Comes his army on?
They meant this night in Sardis to be quartered. The greater part, the horse in general, are all come with Cassius.
Hark, he's arrived.
Stand ho!
Stand ho, pass the word along.
Most noble sister, you have done me wrong.
Judge me, you gods. Wrong I mine enemies? If not so, then how wrong I a brother?
Brutus, this sober form of yours hides wrongs, and when you do them—
Cassius, be content. Speak your grief softly, I do know you well. Before the eyes of our two armies here, which should perceive nothing but love from us, let us not wrangle. Bid them step aside, and then in my tent enlarge your griefs, and I will give you audience.
That you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have noted and condemned Lucius Pella for taking bribes here are the Sardians, wherein my letters praying on his side because I know the man were slighted off.
You wronged yourself to write in such a case.
In such a time as this, it is not meet that every nice offense should bear her comment.
Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm, to sell and march your offices for gold to undeservers.
Aye, an itching palm. You know you are Brutus that says this, or by the gods, this speech, or else you're last.
The name of Cassius honors this corruption, and therefore chastisement doth hide its hand.
Chastisement?
Remember March. The Ides of March, remember? Did not great Julius bleed for justice's sake? What villain that touched his body, that did stab, if not for justice? What? Shall one of us, that struck the foremost man in all the world for supporting robbers, shall we now sully our fingers with base bribes? To so much trash as may be grasped thus. No, I would rather be a dog and bark at the moon than such a Roman.
Brutus, bait not me. I'll not endure it. You forget yourself to hedge me in. I am a soldier.
Oh, I say you are not.
Urge me no more. I shall forget myself. Have mind upon your health. Tempt me no farther.
What? Shall I make way and room for your rash caller? Shall I be frightened when a madman stares?
Gods, ye gods, must I endure all of this?
Oh, this! Aye, more. Fret till your proud heart break. Well, go. Show your slaves how cleric you are. Make your bondmen tremble. Must I budge? Must I observe you? Must I stand and crouch under your testy humor? I'll use you for my laughter, nay, for my mirth.
Is it come to this? You wrong me every way. You wrong me, Brutus. When Caesar lived, he durst not thus have moved me so.
Peace! Peace. You durst not have tempted him so.
I durst not?
No.
Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that I shall be sorry for.
You have done that you should be sorry for. There is no terror in your threats, Cassius. For I am armed so strong in honesty that they pass by me as the idle wind, which I respect not. I did send to you for gold, which you denied me, for I can raise no money by vile means. By the gods, I would rather coin my heart and drop my blood for drachmas than to wring from the hard hands of peasants their vile trash by any indirection. I did send to you for gold to pay my legions. Was this done like Cassius? Would I have answered Caius Cassius so?
I denied you not.
Oh, I say that you did.
A friend should bear her friend's infirmities. But Brutus makes mine greater than they are.
I do not until you practice them on me.
You love me not.
I do not like your faults.
A friendly eye could never see such faults.
Flatterers would, though they appear as huge as high Olympus.
Oh, come, Octavius and Antony. Revenge yourselves alone on Cassius. For Cassius is aweary of this world. Hated by one he loves. Brave by his sister, checked like a bondman. All his faults observed, though to cast into my teeth, I could weep my spirits from mine eyes. Here is my dagger. And there, my naked breast. If that thou beest a Roman, take it forth. I that denied thee gold will give my heart. Strike, as thou did at Caesar. For I know, when thou didst hate him worse, thou lovest him better than ever thou lovest Cassius.
Sheathe thy dagger. Be angry when thou wilt, it shall have scope. Do what thou wilt, dishonor shall be humor. Cassius, thou art yoked with a lamb whose anger doth grow meek.
That Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus, when grief and blood ill-tempered vexeth him.
When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too.
Do you confess so much? Give me thy hand.
And my heart too.
Brutus.
What's the matter?
Have not you love enough to bear with me when that rash humour my mother gave me makes me forgetful and...
Yes, Cassius. And when next you are over earnest with your Brutus, she'll think your mother chides and leave you so. Tintinius, bid the commanders prepare to launch their companies tonight.
And come yourself, and bring Messala with you directly to us.
Junia, a bowl of wine!
I did not think you could have been so angry.
Cassius, I am sick of many griefs.
Of your philosophy you make no use, if you give place to accidental evils.
No man bears sorrow better. Portia's dead.
Portia?
They say she's dead.
How skip killing when I crossed you so? Upon what sickness?
Impatient of my absence, and grief that young Octavius with Mark Antony have grown so strong. With her death, those tidings came. She grew distract, and her attendants being absent, swallowed fire.
And died so?
Even so.
Oh, dear old God.
Speak no more of her. Julia! A bowl of wine. With this, I bury all unkindness, Cassius.
My heart is thirsty for that noble pledge. Phil, Junior, till the wine or swell the cup. I cannot drink too much of Brutus's love.
Welcome, Messala. Good Antonius, welcome.
Portia, thou God.
Speak no more of her, I pray you. Messala, I have here received letters that young Octavius and Mark Antony, with a mighty power, turn their expedition toward Philippi.
Myself have letters of the self-same tenure.
With what addition?
That by prescription and bills of outlawry, Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus have put to death an 100 senators.
My letters speak of 70 senators that have died by their prescriptions. Cicero being one.
Cicero what?
Cicero is dead. And by that order of prescription. Had you letters from your wife, my lady?
No, Messala.
Oh, nothing in your letters read of her?
Nothing, Messala.
That methinks is strange.
Why, say you? Hear you aught of her in yours?
No, my lady.
Now, as you are a Roman, tell me true.
And like a Roman bear the truth I tell. For certain, she is dead. And by a strange manner.
Why then, farewell, Portia. We all must die, Messala. In meditating that she died once, I have the patience to endure it now.
Even so, great men great losses should endure.
I have as much of this in art as you, but yet I think my nature could not bear it so.
Well, to our work alive. What think you of marching to Philippi presently?
I do not think it good.
Your reasons?
This it is. 'Tis better the enemy should seek us. So shall he waste his means, weary his soldiers, doing himself full offense, whilst we, lying is still, are full of rest, defense, and nimbleness.
Good reasons. Must a force give way to better? The people that lie betwixt this place and Philippi do stand but a forced affection, for they have grudged us contribution. The enemy, marching by them shall a fuller number make up. Come on, refreshed, new added, and encouraged, the advantage of which we cut them off if we meet them at Philippi, these people at our backs.
You hear me, good sister?
By your pardon. You must note, Cassius, that we have tried the utmost of our friends. Our legions are brimful. Our cause is ripe. The enemy increaseth every day, while we at the height are ready to decline. There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to victory. Amid all the days of their lives are bound in shallows and miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat. We must take it at the current or lose our ventures.
Then with your will go on. We'll alarm ourselves and meet them at Philippi.
The dark of night has crept upon our talk, and nature gives way to necessity. Is there no more to say?
No more. Early tomorrow shall we rise and hence.
Good night, Messala. Good Antonius, good night. Noble, noble Cassius. Good night and good repose.
Oh, my dear sister. This was an ill beginning of the night. Never let such division between our souls. Let it not, Brutus.
Everything's well.
Good night, my lady.
Good night, good brother. Good night, Lady Brutus.
Good night, my lady.
Good night, everyone.
Now, and our hopes are answered. You said the enemy would not come down, but keep the hills in upper regions. It proves so. Their battles are at hand. They mean to warn us at Philippi here, answering before we do demand of them.
Tut, I am in their bosoms, and I know wherefore they do it. They are content to visit other places and come down with fearful bravery, hoping by this face to fix within our minds that they have courage, but 'tis not so.
Prepare you, generals. The enemy comes on in gallant show. The bloody signs of war are hung out, and something can be done immediately.
Octavius, lead your battle softly on the left hand of the even field.
Upon the right hand I, keep thou the left.
Why do you cross me in this exigence?
I do not cross you, but I will do so.
They stand and would have parley.
Or Antony, shall we give sign of battle?
No, Caesar, we will answer to their charge. Make forth, the generals would have words.
Words before blows, is it so, countrymen?
Not that we love words better, as you do.
Good words are better than bad strokes, Octavius.
In your bad strokes, Brutus, you give good words. Witness the hole you made in Caesar's heart, crying, "Long live, hail Caesar."
Antony, the posture of your blows are yet unknown.
Villains! Yours were not so when your vile daggers hacked each other in the sides of Caesar. You showed your teeth like apes and fawned like hounds, whilst damned Casca, like a cur, stabbed Caesar in the neck. Oh, you flatterers!
Flatterers. Now, Brutus, thank yourself. This tongue hath not offended so today if Cassius might have ruled.
Look! I draw a sword against conspirators! When think you that the sword goes up again? Never! Till Caesar's 3 and 30 wounds be well avenged! Or until another Caesar had been slaughtered to the swords of traitors!
Caesar, thou canst not die by traitors' hands unless thou bringst them with thee.
So I hope. I was not born to die on Brutus's sword!
If thou wert the noblest of thy strain, young man, thou couldst not die more honorable.
Come, Antony, away. If you dare fight today, come to the field!
Well, blow and swell billow, and swim bark, the storm is up, and all is on the hazard.
Basilius, a word.
Yes, milady.
Messala!
What says my general?
Messala. Today is my birthday. As this very day was Cassius born. Give me thy hand, Messala. You know I hold Epicurus strong, and his opinion. Now I do change my mind, and partly credit things that do presage. Coming from Sardis, on our former ensign, 2 mighty eagles fell. And there they perched, gorging and feeding from our soldiers' hands, who to Philippi here consorted us here. This morning, they fled away and gone, and in their stead do ravens, crows, and kites fly over our head and downward look on us as we were sickly prey. Their shadows will cannot most fatal, under which our army lies, ready to give up the ghost.
Believe not so.
But believe it partly. For I am fresh of spirits and resolved to meet all ends very constantly.
Even so, Basilius.
Now, most noble Brutus, the gods today stand friendly, that we may, lovers in peace, lead on our days to age. But since the affairs of men rest still uncertain, let's reason with the worst that may befall. If we do lose this battle, then is this the very last time we shall speak together. What are you then determined to do?
Well, even by that philosophy where I blamed Cato for the death he gave himself. I know not how, but I find it vile and cowardly, and so fearing what may come, to cut off the time of life, arming myself instead with patience to stay the hand of some higher power that governs us below.
Then, if we do lose this battle, you are contented to be led in triumph through the streets of Rome?
No, Cassius. No. will never thank you, noble Roman, that ever Brutus shall go bound to Rome. She bears too great a mind. But today must end that the Ides of March began, and whether we shall see one another again I know not. Therefore our everlasting farewell take. Forever and forever farewell, Cassius. If we do meet again, we shall smile. And if not, this parting was well made.
Forever and forever farewell, Brutus. If we do meet again, we'll smile indeed. If not, 'tis true, this parting was well made.
Well, that a man might know the end of this day's business ere it come. But suffice to say, the end will come, and then the end is known. Lead on. Demeanor in Octavius' wing, and sudden push might give them overthrow. Well, right, Messala, let them all come down!
Oh, look! Decius, look! The villains fly. I myself up to mine own turned enemy! This instant here of mine was turning back. I slew the coward and did take it from him.
Oh, Cassius. Brutus gave the word too early, who, having some advantage on Octavius, took it too eagerly. Her soldiers fell to spoil, whilst we by Antony are enclosed.
Fly farther off, my lord. Fly farther off. Mark Antony is in your tents, my lord. Fly, therefore, noble Cassius. Fly far off.
No, this hill is far enough. Oh, look, Decius, look. Are those my tents where I do perceive the fire?
They are, my lord.
Decius, if thou lovest me, mount thou my horse, and hide thy spurs in him till he have brought thee unto yonder troops, and here again, that I may rest assured were the yon troops a friend or enemy.
And we'll be here again, even with a thought.
Go, Pindarus. Get higher on that hill. My sight was ever thick. Regard Decius, and tell me what thou noticed about the field. This day I breathe first. The time has come round. Where I did begin, there shall I end. My life has run his compass. Sirrah, what news?
My lord!
What news?
My lord! Decius is enclosed round about with horsemen who make to her on the spur, but she spurs on. Now they are almost upon her. Now Decius. Now some light. She lights too. She's taken. And hark, they shout for joy.
Come down. I behold no more. Oh, coward that I am! To live so long to see my best friend taken before my face. Come now, Sirrah. Keep thine oath. And with this good sword that ran through Caesar's bowels, search this bosom. Now stand not to answer. Take thou the hilt. And when my face is covered as 'tis now, guide thou the sword.
Cassius. It is but change, Decius. For Octavius is overthrown by noble Brutus' power, as Cassius' legions are by Antony.
These tidings would well comfort Cassius.
Where did you leave him?
All disconsolate with Pindarus, his bondman, on this hill.
Is that not he that lies upon the ground?
He lies not like the living on my heart.
Is that not he?
No, Messala. Cassius is no more. Whose setting sun is in thy red rays, thou dost sink into night, so in his red blood Cassius' day is set. The sun of Rome is set, our day is gone. Clouds, dews, danger come, our deeds are done. Mistrust of my success hath done this deed.
Mistrust of good success hath done this deed. Melancholious child, why dost thou show to the thoughts of men the things that are not? O error, soon conceived, thou never comest unto a happy birth, but killst the mother that engendered thee.
What, Pindarus? Where art thou, Pindarus?
Seek him, Decius, whilst I go meet the noble Brutus.
Hi, you Messala, I shall seek for Pindarus the while. Why didst thou send me forth, brave Cassius? Did I not meet thy friends? And did not they put on my brows this wreath of victory and bid me give it thee? Didst thou not hear their shouts? Alas, thou hast misconstrued everything. But hold thee, take this garland on thy brow. Thy Brutus bid me give it thee, and I will do her bidding. Brutus, come apace and see how I regard Caius Cassius. By your leave, gods, this is a Roman's part. Come, Cassius' sword, and find Titinius' heart. Where, Messala, doth his body lie?
Lo, yonder in Titinius mourning it.
Titinius' face is upward. She's slain. Oh, Julius Caesar, art thou mighty still?
Brave Titinius. Look where she's not crowned dead Cassius.
Last of the Romans, farewell. I do not think Rome shall ever greet thy fellow. Friends, I owe more tears to this dead man than you shall see me pay. I shall find time, Cassius. I shall find time. Therefore, take his body to Thassos. His funeral shall not be in our camp, lest they discomfort us. Come, Lucilius. Young Cato, come. We'll to the field. Romans, it is 3 o'clock, and ere the night, we shall try fortune in a second fight. My countrymen. My countrymen. Hold up your head.
What bastard doth not? Who will go with me? I will proclaim my name about the field. I am the child of Marcus Cato. Oh, a foe to tyrants and my country's friend.
And I am Brutus! Marcus Brutus, I! Brutus, my country's friend! Know me for Brutus!
Oh, young and noble Cato, art thou down? Oh, thou diest as bravely as Titinius.
Go!
And
Yield!
this
Oh,
being Cato's
stay.
child.
Yield or thou diest!
Only I yield to die. There is this much, that thou wilt kill me straight. Kill Brutus, and be honored in my death.
We must not. A noble prisoner!
Room! Ho! Tell Antony Brutus is taken!
I will tell the news. Here comes the general. Brutus is taken! Brutus is taken, my lord!
Where is she?
Safe, Antony. Brutus is safe enough. I dare assure you that no enemy will ever take alive the noble Brutus. Gods defend her from so great a shame. When you find her, or alive or dead, she will be found as Brutus as herself.
This is not Brutus' friend, but I assure you a prize no less in worth. Keep this one safe. Give her all kindness, for I would rather have such as my friend than my enemy. Go on, see where Brutus is alive or dead, and bring the news unto Octavius' tent how everything is chanced.
Come, poor remnants of friends. Rest upon this rock.
Julius did show the torchlight, but he has not returned. He's either taken or slain.
Sit you down, Clytus. Slaying is the word. It is a deed in fashion. Hark, a word.
Aye, my lady, not for the words.
Peace, then, no words.
I would rather kill myself.
Hark, Volumnius.
Shall I do such a deed?
What ill request did Brutus make of thee?
She did ask me to kill her. Look how she meditates.
Volumnius, a word.
What says my lady?
Why this? The ghost of Caesar hath appeared to me twice. Once at Sardis and again at Philippi Fields. I know my hour is come.
Not so, my lady.
I say that it has. Thou knowest the world, Volumnius, how it goes. The enemy hath beat us to the pit. It is more worthy that we leap in than to tarry till they push us. Volumnius, thou know we two went to school together, even by that love of old. Take thou my sword hilt whilst I run upon it.
That's not an office for a friend, my lady.
Fly, my lady, fly. There is no tarrying here.
Farewell to you. And you. And you, good Volumnius. I rejoice that I never met a man, but he was true to me. I shall have glory on this losing day, more than young Octavius and Mark Antony by this vile conquest shall attain unto. Therefore, farewell. Brutus's tongue has almost finished her life's history. Night hangs upon my eyes, and my bones would rest that have but labored to attain this hour.
Fly, my lady, fly.
Go. I will follow thee. Strato, stay by thy lady. Thou art a man of good respect. Thy life has had some smash of honor in it. Therefore, take thou my sword hilt and turn thy face away, whilst I run upon it. Wilt thou, Strato?
Give me your hand first. Farewell, my lady.
Farewell, Strato. Caesar, now be still. I killed thee not with half so good a will.
What man is that?
My master's man.
Strato, where is thy master?
Free from the bondage you are in, Messala. The conquerors kept up making fire at her. For Brutus only overcame herself, and no man else hath honor by her death.
So Brutus should be found. I thank thee, Brutus, for proving Lucilia's saying true.
All that serve Brutus, I will entertain them. Fellow, thou bestow thy time with me.
Aye, if Messala will prefer me to you.
Do so, good Messala. How died my master, Strato?
I held the sword, and she did run on it.
Octavius, take him to follow thee that did the latest service to my master.
This is the noblest Roman of them all. All the conspirators, save only she, did as they did in envy of great Caesar. She only, with a general honest thought and common good for all, made one with them. Her life was gentle, and the elements so mixed in her that nature itself might stand up and say to all the world, this was a woman.
According to her virtue, let us use her with all respects and rites of burial. Within my tent, her bones tonight shall lie, most like a soldier, ordered honorably. So call the fields to rest, and let's away to part the glories of this happy day.